All right, EventSnap 101. This is our introduction to the product called EventSnap. EventSnap is a ticketing system. So if you are having an event, you need to sell tickets. You're selling merchandise, sponsors. This is going to handle all of that for you. I'm looking at our website right now, eventsnap.com. I'm on the features page, which just walks you through some of the features that come with the program, discount codes or promo codes, merchandising, early bird prices, everything that you need for your event management. It is tracking the inventory on the back end, how many seats you have available to sell. So as you start selling tickets, it is managing all of that for you. You can email all of your participants out of EventSnap, communicate to them about your event, keep them updated on the happenings. You can check people in. If you're having a one evening event, you can check people in that night. All of your reports at the end of the event. And then EventSnap is made by the makers of DonorSnap, which is a CRM donor management system. If you use DonorSnap, transactions that happen through EventSnap can be integrated into DonorSnap at the end. So you're using this to sell your tickets and sponsorships and take all of those transactions, and then at the end, push that over to DonorSnap. If you don't use DonorSnap, all of those transactions can export out to Excel, and then you can integrate them with whatever program you are using, or just keep them as Excel files. So that would be the last step in the process. Let's look at an event. Our golf outing. Here's our event. So EventSnap is a completely standalone product. It creates a URL for your events. So when this was built, I've got my organization, which is just my test, joanna.auctionsnap.com, and then I've got the URL for this particular event. So you could link that to your website if you wanted or not. It can just stay out here on its own. You don't have to have a website because it creates it for you. You have this entire landing page that you get to build. There is a template that comes with the program. I used the template in this creation. So there's a few different sections available in the template, a place for my sponsors, a place for some, dates and times in the center, but you don't have to use the template. You could take those pieces away and create your own if you wanted. So you are not tied to that. Get a full landing page as you need. Then we have the buttons down at the bottom. We're going to go into the golf outing to buy tickets. And we've got 4 different tabs along the top that happen in our event. Now, I'm on a laptop. So EventSnap right now is stretching across the whole width of my laptop. But many people are going to be using your phone. This is mobile optimized. When they're on the phone, obviously this page is going to shrink down. And so they'll be looking at a much smaller screen to purchase their tickets and buy their merchandise. Of course, they can use a laptop too, and then it's going to stretch across the whole of a computer. But just, explaining that it is going to be mobile optimized because we expect that most are going to be using their phones. So we've got one tab just for tickets. However, we define tickets. For my golf outing, I've got single golfers. I also have a foursome. So I have an individual ticket. I have a group of tickets. I'm also doing a banquet, so I have a banquet ticket. That's a single ticket. I could have had a group of tickets, maybe selling a table of 8. So that would be a group based off of my single ticket. I've got sponsorship. This sponsorship, you get tickets with it. You get tickets to the banquet. So this is technically a group of tickets. So you can do free tickets, individual tickets, and groups of tickets. That covers most of the gamut of the different types of tickets you would need. And this is just a click on this. I want that plus this plus this. Down at the bottom is totaling, so I know what I've got. Let's do a foursome today. I can click next down at the bottom or just go right to merchandise. Next is going to take me to merchandise. If you're selling merchandise, whatever that would be, for my golf outing, I've got mulligans, I've got golf games, and I'm selling water bottles. But anything else that you're selling, if you're selling t-shirts, if you're selling centerpieces for your gala. So we bought a foursome. Let's buy a couple of mulligans. And we're going to do some golf games. 1, 2, 3, 4 golf games. And 1, 2, 3, 4 water bottles. And so it's down at the bottom. I've got 10 items. And then finally next, or click cart. So next now is going to take me to the cart area. So at any point you can edit what you've got. You're not stuck and beholden on anything until you get to the cart area. And now it's going to itemize out everything that I am buying. I can go back and make changes if I need to. I can make an additional donation. I can use a promo code. So if I allowed a promo code, early bird or member, whatever, I come up with the codes. I tell them what the code is, maybe on the landing page, let them know, use this code for early bird pricing. So they could do that if they needed to. They can cover the credit card fees. So the credit card is processed through Stripe. You will have to create an account with Stripe in order to take the payments through this. So let's make an additional donation of $50. We're going to cover the fees and we're going to buy this today. So Lori is going to be our person. I'm going to fill this out so that you can see what the registration piece is like. Don't take my card. It's not real. It won't work for you anyway. All right. So Lori is the person that came in with the credit card. Okay. So she put her information on that checkout information because it's her card, and her card needs to match with the zip code and the address and things that are card related. Okay. But then when you get to the registration tab, the final tab is when you say, who's actually playing in this event? Who are we buying tickets for? Is Lori one of the golfers? And also I can ask different things of my registrants at this point. I want to know what t-shirt size they need. Or if I'm having a dinner, I want to know what they want to eat. Do they have dietary restrictions? Do they want to sit with somebody specific? So the registration piece is where you get to ask those specific questions. So Lori is now popping up as the first player. I could remove that. Maybe it was just her card. She's just buying it for some coworkers. So we could take Lori away, but we're going to say that Lori is going to play golf today. So yes, Lori is our first person that is playing. Save. Next. Now she has to register person number 2. All right, so Hope's going to play as well. And so any information that we have on her, okay, save. But I don't know about 3 and 4. So maybe she doesn't know who else is playing. So we can skip at this point. We've got Lori and Hope, but we're skipping the other 2. Finish. it is going to tell you, this is okay. You can leave. You can come back later to register your other people. On the receipt that Lori already got that said, thank you for your purchase, it had that update registration button on it. So at any point, so you could come back and make changes to these. So that's the idea with this event. Tickets that you're selling, sky's the limit on things, different levels of sponsorship. Some sponsors include different tickets, some sponsorships don't. You can have member discounts, you can have early bird pricing, raffle tickets. You need to look into your state's regulations on that. Tickets, free tickets, groups of tickets, merchandise, the cart, and then the registration piece. Let's look at the admin side. So I am the Carson Valley Hospice House. This is my organization. I purchased EventSnap. And so this is what the back end looks like. I have multiple events, so you can have as many different events as you want. We also have another product called AuctionSnap, and this is to manage your silent auctions. AuctionSnap and EventSnap have the same back end. So that's why both of the logos are up at the top. And when I create my golf outing, I can have this ticketing part of things, but I could also do an auction if I had purchased AuctionSnap. It is a separate program, but they carry the same admin. So if you don't buy AuctionSnap, you're going to have the logo up at the top, but you won't have the auction button when you create an event. That's only going to be if you have subscriptions to both programs. These individual events, you can clone them, you can copy them. So if I go through all of the efforts of creating my golf outing this year with my branding and my logo and all of my images and my ticket types, and then next year we have a very similar event, I can clone this event, essentially copy it and create another one. I can disable them after they're over. I actually have a lot more events, but I've disabled them so that I don't have to look at them. And then you can delete them if you needed to, or you could just keep them hidden from the page. In the little box that is the event itself here for my golf outing, I have a little snapshot of information, the date of the event and the auction. If I'm having an auction, I've got the link. So the URL that is created, that's going to take me, this little arrow is going to take me right to it. So now I can use that URL in my marketing. It also creates a QR code. So the minute I create this event, the URL exists, the QR code exists. I can download that and start my marketing. It lets me know how many registered guests I already have and how much I've collected. And same thing if I'm doing an auction, I would have the link for that as well. So right out here, I at least know that my event is happening. I've already sold some tickets, how much I've collected. And down at the bottom, down at the bottom, we've got the green buttons. We're going to go into the event here. This is the admin side, the land of a bunch of buttons. We're not going to go through all of this. That would be way too much, but they do have a bit of a flow. There are different sections to all of these buttons. In the beginning is all of the setup, setting up your events. We are going to look at those. Once we start selling tickets, then we have activity, where I can see the list of transactions. I can check people in. I can email my participants. So after I start selling tickets and the event is going on, then we've got some activity management. We've got reports that are going to go out to Excel. So if I'm looking for a list, a printed list of all of the tickets, I can export out a whole purchase summary. And then finally, at the end, I can integrate back to DonorSnap. If you are a DonorSnap customer, all of the people that purchase tickets, we can send those people back to DonorSnap. All of the attendees, we can send those to DonorSnap, and then all of the financial transactions as well. So in the beginning, you don't need the bottom of the page. In the beginning, you are setting up your event. So you've got the settings for your event where you are creating your URL for your event. You get to make it what you want. You can change the percentage allowed of the credit card fees if you want. You upload your logo to it. This is going to carry into your receipt. You've got different buttons that can show at the bottom of your event. So one button to buy tickets, one button to donate. The donation button would skip over the tickets and the merchandise and go straight to the cart. So that would allow them to just make a donation right there. If you have AuctionSnap, then you could also have an auction button. These are things that you could turn off. You don't have to use those buttons if you don't want. They're just the buttons at the bottom of the page. So these are the overall settings. You've got the event page builder. This is creating that landing page. And it comes with a huge template of lots of different elements to it, a large image up at the top, a place for your date and time in the center, a place for your sponsors, information about your organization. If you want to use all of those, over on the right is the editor. So you can edit rows and settings and columns and put your own buttons in there and make new lists and lots of different options in the editor. If I want to change an image, I grab the image and then over on the right, click Change Image. Is going to be, it will open up my image manager. So I can upload directly from my computer as many images as I want into the image manager. The cool thing about this manager is it stays across all of my events. So once it's uploaded, it's always there. When I upload my logo, it'll be there for every event that I create. So this is a great image manager. And any of the sections that you don't want to use, you can just grab the entire row of it and delete that out. So if you don't want to use the elements of the template, if you have a graphic designer that likes to build things in Canva, then you can just delete all the pieces of our template and upload that, image that your designer created, whatever you need. That's the fun part, building that front landing page. You have different types of tickets. So I've got a single ticket for my banquet. You have an image for it. You have a description for it. That way, when they're on the ticket part, you can have an image, you can have a description. When they click on it, it gets larger. You don't have to use the image and the description, the platinum sponsorship at the top. I purposely don't have that just to show what it looks like. And it's just fine. You don't have to have the image and the description if you don't want. Just an option. You get your non-deductible amount. This is so when the tax receipt goes out, it would have in there. This is the non-tax deductible part of it. So when you click to add a new ticket, we've got free tickets. So if we're just doing an RSVP, save my spot at the picnic, you can do free tickets, individual tickets, groups of tickets, and merchandise. Should cover the gamut of all the different options that you need. And then the program is doing inventory on all of that. How many golfers do I have available is also going to be tied into how many foursomes can I sell? I've got 160 individual tickets, but I can sell 38 foursomes. How many individual banquets versus how many tables or how many sponsors available? It's tracking all of that for me. I've got a place for my promo codes. Come up with the wording. Early bird, all capital letters, means that you get 15% off. You can put a date on it so it will end at a specific time. Or you could make something item specific. This was a percentage off of their entire order, but I could make it item specific so that they get, 10% off their entrance to the gala. So you can have lots of different promo codes. And finally, user-defined fields, way over to the right. This is where you customize that registration piece. So if I want to ask specific questions like, who do you want to sit with? Do you have any dietary restrictions? Do you need any special accommodations? What size t-shirt? All of those. You can add as many different, what we call user-defined fields to that registration table. So all of the different setup of the event. Down in the activity, let's look at a couple of these. This is after we've sold some tickets. Today, Lori bought a ticket. So I could go right to event transactions and see the list of all of my ticket sales. I can see Lori here. I can go in and look specifically at what they purchased. I've also got a ticket maintenance and a guest maintenance. We have two different groups of people. We have Lori, the ticket purchaser. So that is the transaction. That's the money person. And then we have the guests, the actual registrants of the event, which also includes Lori. She's golfing. So she would be on the guest list as well. And also Hope. And some people that we don't know. I could go into the guest maintenance and I could, work through my different guests here. I can check people in the night of the event. When this pops up, you can see that, let's see, this is banquet only. Let's change this to golfers. Okay. So I could check in Lori. She walks through the door, click check in, and Hope is here too. But then we've got Lori's guest that doesn't have a name yet. And so when that person walks through the door the night of the event, I can register them right from here and fill out those user-defined fields about them, their information, their email, their phone number, and get them on the list too. We have a group maintenance. This is kind of fun. If you have different groups, I have, what are we looking at here? These are banquet tables. So I've sold 2 platinum sponsors. I could edit these different tables, and maybe I'm going to call this table 4 is over by the windows. So it's not really a map, but it's a way for me to know that these 4 people are going to sit together. Or maybe I have a table of 8, and so this platinum sponsorship group of 4 is actually going to sit over here. So I can move Steve over to this table, and I can move his guests over here. So I can move people between different groups, rename the different groups. So this is for my banquet. I've got golfers as well. I've got 2 foursomes that I've purchased. I can rename these. Let's see. This is John's Fantastic Four. So if we're going to have a competition for the best name, we can reorganize those. I'm going to have some single golfers eventually, and I'm going to need to add new groups. and put my golfers together into foursomes. I'm going to have to do the same thing with my individual, tickets for the gala for the banquet part as well. So you can organize your different groups. Again, it's not really a map. It's not a seating chart, but it kind of is. It's pretty close. Also, you can create name tags the night of the event, and you can put their different groups on the name tags if that's useful. So maybe they don't know yet which foursome they're in, and so that could be part of their name tags. Again, reports at the end, and then finally integrating back to DonorSnap. If this is a product that you're interested in, those are things that you can look into. Our support for more information you can talk about with our sales demo if you're looking for that, where they can give you examples. So EventSnap covers all of the different ticketing options that you need. Again, free tickets, individual tickets, groups of tickets. That normally covers all your different sponsorships. Somewhere they fit into those different categories. Every sponsorship's a little different, but they normally fit into at least an individual ticket or a group of tickets. Promo codes, and then capturing all of that inventory of your events. Who are your participants? Customizing their registration, being able to email them. We didn't click on that button, but it's in the center here, being able to email people, the participants, about the event as it's going on, all in one central location that you could then integrate back to DonorSnap or whatever your donor management system is. So if you are interested, if you want more information, go to eventsnap.com, sign up for a demo to talk to one of our sales representatives to talk about your organization and your specific events, your needs. Here are our pricing options. If you are interested in AuctionSnap, remember that is a separate program to manage your online auctions. It's where you upload all your different images of your things for sale, and then people can bid on it. We do have a bundle price. If you get both EventSnap and AuctionSnap, it's a little bit off the price of both of them. So our EventSnap pricing is on the screen. Again, if you want more information specific to your needs, please contact sales@auctionsnap.com. Sign up for a demo with one of our sales guys and ask all the questions that you need. So hopefully this is everything to get your gears going with your ideas about EventSnap. Please contact us for more information. I'm going to stop my recording there.